It's time for the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Powerful and liberating business strategies you can start in 5 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, Dean Soto.
Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of FreedomIn5Minutes.com and Prosulum.com, Prosulum.com. And we're here again with another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this. You have more resources for your business now than ever before. That and more coming up. Well, good morning. I'm here with the Lunameister here yet again. Once again, we are out for a walk. She is looking at an oak tree as if something's up there. What's up there, baby? She's whining at an oak tree. There must be something up there that she smells. Anyway, go get that energy out. So, I'm actually not sure if I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. So maybe you haven't heard this particular thing. So we moved to Central California in, 2.5 years ago. So it's 2020. So 2017, we moved to Central California and we moved up into the hills and we're on 20 acres up here. We have our dream house. It's great and it's wonderful. And one of the things though was that we have 20 acres, 20 acres up in the hills. 20 acres is a lot of acreage. And I'm not saying that to be like, wow, Dean, you're amazing that you have all this acreage. Wow. Awesome. You know, honestly, it was extremely overwhelming and it still is extremely overwhelming. And a big part of that is that we live up in the hills. And so our place is actually pretty hilly. So we have some flat areas, but it kind of goes. Our land will drop and then it'll get flat, drop and get flat, drop and get flat. And it's all over the place. And that being said, in order to utilize a lot of our land, we would have to build roads. We'd have to start, bringing in heavy equipment, building roads, doing all this other stuff to get to a lot of our land. And from where our house is down to the very bottom of our land, I want to say it's probably a 300-foot drop. Maybe more, maybe less. But it's pretty, to the very bottom of our land, it's a big drop. And so for the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years, I've been looking at this the bigger part of our land, and I'm like, man, how are we, even if I wanted to build something out here in the flat areas of this thing, how the heck am I going to get there? I mean, I would have to bring in bulldozers and a grader and all this other stuff and make this happen. That's expensive. It ends up being pretty costly over time. And so I'm looking at it just going, man, is this really ever going to happen? Is this really ever going to, there's a lot of stuff I have to put into this in order to actually make this happen. So, the other day, it's funny to think about this, almost 3 years now. And it was only the other day, I want to say about a week ago, that we have this, next to our house, we have this fire road. We have this fire road that we have several entrances to kind of get into our main housing area and our main land where our kids are and everything, play and stuff. But we have this fire road that we really don't use very often. It's fenced in. We have a fence. We have an entrance for that road to be able to go down. And as you walk that road, there's trees kind of in the way. Some are fallen. Some are, I'm looking at it going, man, it just goes and it stops, right? And it's useless. Well, come to find out, I start really looking at this particular area, and I start walking that fire road as far as it could go. And indeed, it did stop at where a whole bunch of oak trees were. And I'm looking at the oak trees, and I'm examining what they kind of what they were, why in the heck are they there, right? Before, I thought it just completely stopped. But if you look, a lot of where those oak trees are, it's bush. It's more of the branches of these oak trees. It's not really the trunks of these trees. And so I'm going through that area, and lo and behold, come to find out, the road goes right through this bushy area that I thought was just blocked by oak trees. And it was just this bushy area where I could take a chainsaw. I could literally take a chainsaw, get all of those bushy areas out, and I will have a road that can fit a large truck. It could actually even bring in heavy equipment. That's how big this road is. And that road connects to several other roads that I never even noticed were on our land. Obviously, it was a fire road for a reason, and it was made so that you could get back into that particular area. But I thought it was an old fire road, never used at all anymore. Well, this thing, you can bring in huge trucks. You can bring in the road. Now that I see it, there's actually a whole road system that goes all the way down to the very bottom of our 300-foot drop in elevation, down to the very bottom of our land. And that, my friends, is very cool, because now it's just a matter of planning out. Now that we know where the road system is, and that there actually is one that I don't have to pay for. This would have been tens of thousands of dollars to grade and to do. All I'm going to do at some point in time is asphalt it, so we have an asphalt road going through these things. But now we have a road system that can go to workshops, conference rooms, conference buildings, if I wanted to build something like that, barns, all of these different things that go for several square feet or miles or whatever, quarter mile, half mile, and so on down this whole entire acreage. The thing that I did not notice and I did not see for 3 years, think about this, 3 years, I did not know that road actually connected down to this area where there's blatantly a road system that was purposely built. Had I known that, my dreams would have probably started happening last year. My dreams of building more stuff on this land would have happened last year. But I didn't know that. I thought I had to plan out this road system and start building all this other crap around it. And so, why is this important? It's important because a lot of the times you don't realize the resources you have right now in your business. I deal with a lot of people that when I'm doing consulting, that people don't realize that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, stuff that you can do now for a couple $100 a month or under $100 per month used to cost thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars per month. Stuff that only Amazon could do. Big, huge companies like IBM or, Target or these big, huge e-commerce commerce companies doing all this marketing automation. I'm walking up right now, so I'm just out winded. Is at your disposal. The stuff now, like literally, you can have artificial intelligence answering things, triggering things. You can have tagging and different types of data gathering in your marketing automation, your emails and stuff like that. There is so much that you have access to now. And it's funny because as I'm working with a lot of people on the consulting basis, they don't realize that. They don't see what they actually have access to until I show them. And they're like, whoa, wait, for that amount of money, small amount of money, and just building the systems around it with a virtual systems architect at freedomin5minutes.com and prosulum.com, prosulum.com, they start seeing, whoa, I can have gifts being sent out to customers. I can see who my best customers are and treat them differently than people who are just normal opt-ins, or people who only spend a small amount of money with me, or whatever it might be. I can do that now? Heck yeah, you can. And it'll transform the way you do things. You have so much opportunity now. You have so many resources now that 10 years ago were not there. We're simply not there unless you paid buku bucks. In fact, one of the things I've been researching and doing and testing out is two things. One, artificial intelligence for email, which works, and you can use it for sales. I'll talk about that probably later in the year. The other thing is artificial intelligence for phone calls and phone selling and lead appointment setting and things like that. That's another thing that people don't realize is actually starting to become affordable. Pretty crazy. Crazy. Literally having robots set appointments for you and things like that. We have access to so much. Now is the time to open up your eyes. What are you doing right now that is a burden? What are you doing right now that you wish you could do? I challenge you, go and Google whatever that thing is. And I challenge you, you go look at the ads that pop up on Google search, and you'll find that there's a solution, usually already, that will allow you to utilize an automated or systematic way of doing that thing for very, very cheap compared to what it would have cost, 10 years ago, right? So you have a lot of resources right now. You have a lot of opportunity. You just need to look and actually use them. So this is Dean Soto, freedomin5minutes.com. Go check that out. prosulum.com, prosulum.com. Go check that out as well if you want a virtual systems architect where you can literally systemize your business 5 minutes a day and make it into a cash flow asset that you just are the captain of the ship of. Go check that out. So this is Dean Soto, Freedom in 5 Minutes. I will catch you on the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode.
Thanks for listening to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Now, head over to www.freedomin5minutes.com and register for our free masterclass and discover how to start systemizing and automating your entire business 5 minutes at a time. We'll see you next time on the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast.